You're thinking of changing flag, Phil. Moving to Norway.
You dream of the solitude of Scandinavia.
Yeah.
The dreams of the fjords. That's my trance album.
Enya cover, yeah. Enya EDM.
Absolutely, absolutely.
I did some rough calculations for this, just to give a visual of country comparison, so to say, for everyone who doesn't know. Sweden is about twice the size of England, Scotland, and Wales combined, but with the population of London. And Norway, on the other hand, if you take Sweden and remove Scotland and the population of Scotland, that's the same thing. So if you don't want a lot of people, I mean, Norway is the best bet.
Yeah.
I've always been drawn to Norway. Well, I mean, obviously, that is not the same thing as going there. I've always wanted to go to Tromsø to see the Northern Lights.
Yeah, me too.
And I costed that up once and thought, I can watch it on YouTube.
If it's one thing, Norway is not cheap.
No, but you need to befriend someone there that you can stay at while you're there, and then borrow a car. That helps. If you can factor out hotels and rental car, then it looks different.
Mm.
Or you can buy that cabin on that Instagram post that sparked this entire thing. I mean, for a cat and a open-ended sandwich, you can get a log cabin with a couple of acres, secluded from many people. Yeah.
Minor repairs needed.
I mean, it depends on. I mean, if you like continuously chopping wood to keep a wood stove burning because you like that crackling sound, and you have a national romantic picture of wearing suspenders and chopping wood, then I mean it's perfect.
Yep, I could totally go for that.
Yeah,
I'd be very happy doing that. Like I was saying in the chat, the cost of that entire house and the land and the barn, you can't even buy a lock-up garage in Bristol for that money, which is just ridiculous. And you wouldn't want to live in that either.
It's funny that.
No, the view was nice. So yeah,
Definitely.
and the thing is, Norway, similar to Sweden, we have people are moving out of the small places, and of course, all the small places die out, and the people grow old and whatnot. But the good thing is that it's extremely cheap. So if you don't like people or the city life or anything, you can get a house with a barn and a barn for your boat or whatever it's called, boat houses, yeah, and with a fantastic view, and still within a couple of miles of the local shop, so you can get your groceries and whatnot. But yeah, it's amazing, and the living costs then become next to nothing. So a lot of artists move to the northern part of Norway because it's cheap to live there, and they get the inspiration of the mountains and the view and the sea and whatnot, and you can live off it. You can live off a narrow niche because you just need a box of egg every fortnight, and you have some chickens and a pig and a cow, and so yeah. But of course, you need to love that lifestyle, though.
Yeah.
And you need to have some sort of income as well to sustain it.
Yeah. But it doesn't need to be that big, but
if you can work remotely, you don't have to work a full work week, I think.
I mean, it's very, very tempting because, you know, this little sceptred isle of mine, it's not so much as the jewel in the Silver Sea that it used to be. Yeah. Given the opportunity, absolutely. Would definitely leave.
But I
He
mean,
laughs, but it's also desperately quite serious.
we looked at it, and of course, after that post, and of course, the pros is it's cheap houses, and I also put it down on the pros, but it is also an expense tied to it because when you're moving to Norway, you need a bunad, which is the national clothing, which is very geographically specific. There are hundreds of these, which are tweed and wool based, and you got either pewter or silver cufflinks and whatnot, and a lot of colors and West. And I think the only thing all of them have in common is that you need to use some sort of wool that itches. Um, and they are ridiculously expensive. I think the cheapest ones you can get for like £3,000, but that's before you're starting to buy. You need a knife, obviously, and the cufflinks and the buttons and the brooch and whatnot. So you're looking to £5,000-6,000 for this. So of course you have to add that to the cost of the house. But still, I mean, it's cheaper than a garage in Birmingham.
I assume that you need to wear this at all times when you're out in public.
Yes.
Yeah, so you're going to need at least several changes of that as well.
No, but I mean, it's like this is like the Norwegian Carhartt. I mean, it just looks greater the more used it is. So
Right, fair enough. It smells kind of funky once you've been wearing it for a month.
Yeah. But then again, of course, you sleep in the barn because you're that's where you get your heat from in the winter, living with the livestock. So
From the cows, yeah, I get it. It sounds very idyllic.
The hobo lifestyle. A hobo with a cow.
Hobo with a cow.
It sounds like a good story.
Yeah.
But I could see myself living in one of those places, but my family can't. So that's the. I mean, I could move to one of these places, but then I would end up without the family, so it's not an option.
Not worth it.
These people who want, I don't know, these things like hot and cold running water and local schools and shops, modern trappings like that.
Yeah, well, I
don't get it. The wife doesn't seem to like. But don't you see the YouTube video potential in that in making a wood-fired outdoor shower that is hung off something on the backside of the barn? But the view.
Funnily enough, I don't want to have a shower with, whatever local happens to be wandering past. Having a good ogle.
That's the thing, with these small places. You really get to know the few people that are there, and they know and they know everything about you, and you know everything about them, and yeah.
Well, when I grew up in Wales, if you went to the pub in the evening, and the pub is 8 miles away, if at some point in the day I'd been outside and I had the bonnet up on the car, fettling around with something, you go in the pub and some stranger who you've never met before just wanders up to you. Engine trouble, is it? Who are you and why? You can't even see my car from the road. How? What? Yeah. So I'm not. I'm quite well versed in living in sort of rural communities, miles from nowhere.
I don't have any problem with living miles from anywhere, but I do want the comfort of a modern house because I grew up in a really old house that was really did not have all the modern stuff. I mean, when I was a kid, taking a bath was having maybe 3 inches of water in the bathtub because the water heater couldn't give you any more. That sort of thing. I remember in nights we slept in the kitchen when the power was out because that with the wood stove was the only heat we got. I don't want that.
I grew up in an old stone cottage, which it was a cottage then, but originally it was a cowshed. And there was an oil burning stove in the kitchen, which was the main source of heat. It ran a back boiler. It did all the hot water, and we had an electric immersion in the summer because you don't want this thing running in the summer because otherwise it's just ridiculously hot. But yeah, fun summer days decoking that thing before relighting it, sort of September, October time. Yeah.
That's the thing, though. I mean, if you choose that lifestyle and you have the option of opting out, it's something completely different.
Yeah.
It's like people going from their houses to their cabin in the woods with the outhouse, and you really enjoy it because on Sunday evening you're going home and taking a warm shower. So, yeah, not having to do it. And I think it was last Sunday we had a power outage here, and it was the biggest power outage in a couple of years, and it lasted for quite a few hours. And of course, I'm happy. Yes, I have all my batteries charged, so I went down. I have the lights, I have the battery packs for whatever, and but I realized we were running low on firewood, so I got some more of that. But then again, after a few hours, it's like, yeah, still works fine. But it was nice when the power was back, and you know that the freezer and the fridge and everything is back and running. I mean, I think it was in Berlin they had like several days power outage, and of course, then you have to start thinking of I need to eat that before it expires. So then it becomes like a food eating marathon because we are not throwing food away in this household, so I'm going to eat every last bit of one of it if it kills me, which it would probably do.
That is an interesting thing as well. When do you start eating all the ice cream? Because that will go first.
Immediately.
As soon as the power goes out, you're in there with 5 cones.
I'm getting ice cream. Then
Exactly. Before even the power's fully gone off, it's just switching and it's flickering. It's like, is this going to come back? I mean, it's come back on now, but is it going to go? We should definitely get the ice cream just in case.
It feels like the power is going to go out. Let's get some ice cream. I'm going to use that.
But that's the annoying part. I mean, if there should be a timer, at least at the power companies. If the power goes, it should stay off for a couple of hours. Because nothing is more annoying than like the entire house go boom, and it's dark. And you go and get the ice cream, and then you get the candlelight, and you get your favorite book, and then you're getting on the couch and snuggling up, and then zoop, and it's bright as day because everything. Yeah, no. And of course, I understand they are stressed in this case because I mean, even in Norway, I think a lot of people, especially living in apartments and whatnot, and modern houses as well, they don't have wood-fired stoves. And if you turn the power off, then the residual heat in the house, I mean, after a couple of hours, you will start to feel the temperature drop. And then, but a couple of hours, we could all endure. So we could have some candlelight and whiskey and drink reading a couple of chapters in Lord of the Rings.
I mean, next time you have a power outage, just go down and flip the main breaker and not tell the family. Or just do that and say, oh, power outage.
Ice cream and whiskey time.
Could I design some contraption that just randomly shuts down the power to the house?
Yes, you definitely can.
Like,
should
like
you?
a 3 to 5 times in a year, it should shut it down for anything between 2 to 48 hours.
48 is a bit much. Then you would have to clean out the freezer for real. Maybe 12 hours.
No, we have a top-mounted freezer, so I think 48 hours will.
Could it? Maybe.
As long as you don't open it.
I haven't tried.
And in the wintertime, like now, we could just move it outside.
Yeah, that's
Just
true.
go and dump it all in the snow. It'll be fine.
Yeah.
Well, until some animal comes along.
Yeah, crows and
Exactly.
badgers having a feast.
Exactly. Is that chicken? Yeah, well, it's good. I like chicken. Normally, I have to chase it around and it's covered in feathers, but no, it's fully prepared.
Someone removed all the bones. Nice.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Some sort of gourmet chicken.
But it is. I'm not sure if it's the hoarder in me. I have the. I mean, I've never come to terms with it, but they say like I'm an alcoholic, but I haven't drunk in 20 years, and I never understood that as a kid, because if you haven't drank alcohol in 20 years, you're not an alcoholic. But now that I've come off chewing tobacco and I still want it 15 years after I quit, so now I understand it, and it's like I'm a high functioning hoarder. I mean, it's not taking over my house, but I have the gene. If I just had a barn, it would blossom. And it's the same with doomsday prepping. I could very easily fall on the wrong side of that fence. And of course, when the power goes out, then I really get tested. Like, yeah, what if? Yes, I have enough water. Yes, I have food for a month. Do I have enough firewood for 3 weeks before I have to go and kill the neighbors for his firewood? And yeah, so
You're like a CIA agent or whatever it is, you know. As soon as the power goes off, your training kicks in. Right.
off to kill the neighbors and
That wasn't my first thought, but you know, while all the power's down, while there's potentially no CCTV, why not do a few extra things as well?
Yeah.
I got those things on my to-do list.
It's a great opportunity to get those ticked off.
Yeah.
They've been hanging around for ages.
The Norwegian government, I think it was last year, they updated the preparedness list of what you need to have, and they sent a pamphlet to every household. And of course, I went through that pamphlet, and I have everything on the list already, so I'm set. And yes, whacking your neighbor for looting purposes was not on that list. But it got me thinking, though. It is nice with a power outage when you can catch up on YouTube videos, because the tele company, they have, at least in Norway, there's the one big operator has some emergency function that it needs to have, like for national preparedness, and that is 48 hours. So they have backup power to keep the 5G network or whatever and the radio operative for at least 48 hours before they need to shut down critical functions to keep some communications active. And of course, people watching YouTube videos will be shut down in the first line after those 48 hours. So then the question is, how long after 48 hours would we at all see American Black Friday kind of events where people are just, now, all right, the power's been out for 2 hours. I'm looting the local co-op.
Not sure.
Quicker than you won't think. I mean, we are also rather well stocked. I mean, we could eat with no problems for a week. Might not be happy at the end of that week. I don't think it would last a month, but
No.
a week, no problem.
Over here, I'm assuming it's the same everywhere else. As soon as your government tells you, don't panic buy, whatever.
And you better hope you have toilet paper at home, because that's going to be gone.
Yeah, wasn't that in the UK where they said that there is no problem, you don't have to hoard gas? Then people started hoarding gas, so it became a problem.
Exactly.
It's so funny.
I mean, it was like years and years ago, 2001 maybe, there was a massive oil refinery strike, and no one could get petrol anywhere. And people were, people were putting padlocks on their cars because people were just coming along and breaking off the fuel cap and siphoning out fuel. And it's like you see all these people just queuing up for miles to try and get 5 liters of fuel or whatever. And it's like, it's fine. Just use your car less or whatever.
Yeah.
You're just making it worse by panic buying.
I think it was under the pandemic that the Norwegian government said that, all right, we have some issues with the supply lines, but we have enough in backup. So if everybody just go on their normal day, we have enough. And before they said we have, people went to the stores and they were out, and weirdly enough, it was toilet paper and of course flour and butter because everybody was going to bake. And I think people still have butter and flour in their garage after the hoarding spree. But yeah, I was lucky. I guess we had enough toilet paper, and I don't want to go anywhere. That's a de facto. So when they said we should stay at home, I didn't feel the need to hoard fuel, because what do I need fuel for? I don't want to drive anywhere. So, but I saw, was it another podcast? There was a lady who said that in her family, they spent the entire January eating out their pantry.
Mm.
And I felt... I felt it was a bit closer to to home that I would like to maybe, but we have a pantry where I don't think we have the full grasp of everything that resides in there on the inner parts of the upper shelves. And I had a look here the other day. I got a stepping stool and looked up, and we have enough like rice and pasta and dry and canned goods. So we could probably survive a month if we rationed. But it would be okay to ration, but it's not like you would have a second serving of the meals for the last half of that month, because then you would have to get creative. But the way this family did it, like, all right, we have a budget for, we're going to eat mostly the things in the pantry, but of course we spend a couple of $100 or just something like that to get some chicken and some meat, some perishables that doesn't last that long to supplement, because just eating canned goods and dry, they as well had kids, so they had to do something. But I think we could do well in trying a stunt like that. There are things there that hasn't seen the light of day in the better part of a decade, I think.
Yeah, I've been saying that for a lot of vacations last couple of years, that we should at least eat everything in the fridge or in the freezer. I mean, because there's some stuff there that we don't know how old it is. we haven't had to clean out the freezer in a while as well, but we never get to it. And I mean, if we didn't have kids, I would definitely opt for just trying that, see how far we can come before it's too miserable. We're just eating what we have.
Some really, really grey freezer burned meat.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh no, it's nice, and it's nice. Yeah.
I mean, the first day it's ice cream. The second day it's smoothies with all the frozen berries and whatnot, and then the grey meat and everything that's been for so long that all the moisture in it has crystallized. So you have to scrape the ice crystals off the meat and whatnot. So
Yeah.
Oh, some mystery in a Tupperware pot. What is that? Is that soup? Is that a sauce? I don't know.
Might be jam.
I think the bottom.
But you
of
still
our
don't throw it
freezer,
away. That's the problem.
Mm-hmm.
No, I think we have a good 10 milk cartons in the bottom of our fridge, because we went to my wife's family a couple of years ago, and we do this every autumn. we pick all the apples from the apple trees and we make apple juice. And of course, we don't drink much apple juice, so we just put it in the fridge. So we have apple juice to last us until doomsday.
You can make some cider.
Yeah, you can just thaw it and leave it out for a few days. It will ferment all on its own. So
Yeah. Make fun apple juice. Not so long ago, I went to a beer and cider festival. I had some rough cider, really, really cloudy stuff. And this stuff was you could just drink it like it was apple juice. Oh, it was so delicious. And then you try and stand up. And then you realize that's a bit stronger than I anticipated. It did not taste alcoholic at all.
That sounds dangerous.
Very, very dangerous. Stay away from the rough scrumpy.
Not the morning apple juice.
No, not breakfast cider, no. It's one of your 5 a day.
oh.
Does scrumpy apples count as double or half a normal apple?
Depends how many you have.
Just to double back to the beginning of the main episode, since we're now in a half pint. Of course, I was running the kids around today at gymnastics practice and whatnot, and I've realized something when I'm sitting there bored, senseless, waiting for being able to go back home again. There is a lot of 90s in kids' fashion these days. So you had I remember in the 90s, it was very popular with these choker necklaces, the plastic things. Those are now obviously a thing, and some of the low cuts. It's not fully back to the 70s, but the ABBA pants is back in fashion. So I was just sitting there, and then of course the gymnastics teachers are also barely 20, and they are in the same fashion as well. And it's like, yeah, I'm sitting in an old gymnastic building from the 80s. It's probably the same building that I went to 30 years ago, and nothing has changed. It's still the beige colors, it's the same equipment, and now the people are wearing the same clothes. I was sitting there and like just dozed off, and I woke off and I scared myself like, oh no, I'm back. Oh no, I'm still an adult. I have my own money. I can do whatever I want. I don't have to go to school tomorrow. But yeah, it was a freakishly kind of deja vu.
Everything comes around eventually.
Yeah, I mean, there's only so much you can do with fabric and the human body. That's reasonable.
Yeah. So when I saw someone the other day wearing a Nirvana t-shirt, and I said, "Oh, Nirvana, great!" It was like, yeah, they were like a really cool band from like back in the day.
Oh, you don't say.
Yeah, I know. I was there.
I don't remember who. So there was someone's kid came home and like, yeah, I discovered this great new band, Offspring. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
I heard about those. What, you have? Yes. Mm-hmm. They're my age, you know.
Yep. Let me tell you about something. Oh, whatever, Granda.
Yeah, exactly.
Sorry, a very annoying cat here.
Again?
Again. Confounded beast. Yeah. Damn thing just wakes up and wants feeding. That's all she does.
So you mean that you don't?
Well, no, I do other things as well. You know, I go to work, cook, clean, occasionally vacuum. Yeah. What does this thing do? What does this contribute to the family unit? Absolutely nothing. It just takes.
Yeah. I mean, you are its servant, so you going to work and cleaning and doing. I mean, all that is just to keep the house so that the cat has a place for you to be its servant in. So
You can stand up from your favourite chair and turn around and, oh, look who's sitting in it. Like, yeah, it's warm here. What do you want? Go away. There's other chairs.
Go and heat up another one for me.
Exactly. I want to sit here now, but I might want to sit over there later. So, chop chop.
I just realized I haven't had whiskey in a while.
Oh,
It's
is that what
actually
you got
good.
in there?
Hmm?
Is that's what you've got in
Yeah,
there?
yeah. I mean, we started the half pint without running up and replenish our beverages, so I just reached for the closest golden cask.
Very nice. Is that wood or ceramic?
It's a wood. It's an oak whiskey glass.
Very nice.
And it's yeah, it's one of the first attempts on his lathe once he got it. So it's a Glen invention, and he tried to how thin can I make the walls, and I think they are 3 millimeters, but I'm not sure if you can see it. There is a crack,
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
and you don't see it once it is dry, but when you fill it up with whiskey, and after a while it expands enough that you see there is a crack there.
So you have to drink quickly before it pours out of itself.
You just tilt it the other way. So but yeah, a oak whiskey glass. That is
The ultimate whiskey smoker. Just set fire to the
exactly.
glass. Fireball whiskey.
Yeah. No, I'm not. That's the second thing in my family. I mean, first of all, we don't throw away food and we don't burn alcohol.
Well, it's good to have standards.
Yeah, there's plenty of other things to burn around here. My whiskey is not one of them.
So, what's the plan for next week then? Any making? Except finishing the $1 million box.
Well, I don't know. I mean, I'm on holiday. Well, I'm not on holiday. I'm on compassionate leave for the next 3 days.
I'm going to start calling my holiday staff just after.
Compassionate leave from work.
So it's my mental health break.
Exactly. So, I mean, I've got a lot of paperwork and odds and ends and tax returns and all kinds of fun things to be dealing with.
So you need a distraction, it sounds like.
But yes, I think that there may be a little bit of garage time in there as well. Yes, I think it's good for my mental health.
Yes.
It would be important. I mean, the garage after any big project needs a bloody good clean and tidy. And now, it's actually quite warm here, and it's going to be quite warm this week. I mean, we're up at sort of 10 degrees, 12 degrees in the day, so it's not bad. So I think there'll be a bit of vicious culling of stuff that I own, which I've never touched for more than 6 months, or maybe even 6 years, or 16 years. So that's just got to start. That process will start this week, I think. Start throwing stuff out, make myself a bit of room. But yeah, I don't actually have any plans for what's being made next, but I'm sure it will become apparent.
Yeah.
Because there's things in that video I did back in March where I had a few projects on the bench, and I've not done any of them. I've done lots of other things, but none of the things I said I was going to do in that video.
I can very much relate to that. But I mean, I've been talking about sewing projects for a couple of weeks now, and I'm filmed the intros for 2 videos, and I haven't touched needle or thread in those regards. So now I'm gonna do my very, 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 very best not to get distracted. by another project, which is what I've been doing for the last couple of weeks. But I'm not giving any promises.
I promise nothing, and we'll deliver something.
Hopefully. Maybe.
Good. How about the Norwegian contingent? What's on the bench this week, apart from the car? Or next week?
I'm hoping to finish the sanding part of the car, because I do have a brand spankingly new petrol-powered strimmer that needs to be turned into a vacuum cleaner. And I have taken the decision that I'm going to use one of the old vacuum cleaners that I have. Of course, I would like to have a red fancy one. It looks cool, but I do have an old, like a shop vac where the motor sits on top. So I think that's the easiest way to turn into a petrol-powered vacuum cleaner. And also, if there is no way of attaching the motor to the axle of the fan, I think I can very easily 3D print a propeller that I can mount on the axle inside, because on the shop vac, the motor and the fan is embedded in the lid, and around that lid it's like a metal strainer basket where you put the filter in, so no dust is sucked into the motor. So I can remove all the internals there and just basically 3D print a fan that go on. So I'm basically building a leaf blower on wheels. With a hose attachment, but let's gloss over that fact. So I have all the parts now, and it's going to be nice, because it doesn't need to look nice. It just needs to work for at least 3 seconds of filming. After that, it's a YouTube video. It's done.
A bit longer than the coffee grinder. That's it.
Yes. Speaking of the coffee grinder, of course, I wanted to do version 2 of that, but that engine is now destined for greater things. Because I went to the post office today and got the package from my mother, who went to IKEA and got me 2 steel bowls. So I now got the head of R2D2 and a Dalek in my workshop. They were big. It's the biggest one that they had, but they are still... It's not a 1-to-1 with the original R2D2, and I think if I'm going to scale it down to match that dome, I will be able to shoehorn that motor in it, but it's going to be a tight fit. But I also think that how much work do I want to put down into it, or should I just do a hodgepodge job and then just radio control it and send it into a burning crash at the first something, and that is fun as well.
But I mean,
I have some rocket engines laying around, so we can make some smoke and whatnot.
At least part of the motor should be sticking out of the robot, I feel. So you see that it's a robot, and
the cylinder top needs to stick out with the cooling fans.
Yeah, and so some more stuff can also stick out if it's convenient.
So the question is, should it stick out to the back or to the front as a ribbed duck's penis?
So I mean,
I'm not sure.
Is it a dick or ass? Is that what we're asking?
yeah. But I think what will be the most important is the engine will be mounted low for center of gravity, but it's still... It doesn't have a wide wheelbase, so it's going to be a little tipsy-turny, top-heavy. So, it might do for some spectacular... So maybe I should build it with a roll bar. I'm not sure. Or if maybe I could get a used... I've seen people putting just a 12-volt to an airbag. So should I mount an airbag under the top dome, so if it tilts over, it ejects the head up to save it?
Danger, emergency.
Yeah.
That could be quite spectacular to watch.
Yes. And I mean, robots falling over is fun as well, so I think we got all bases covered.
Explosive head detachment.
So no matter how well the project goes, I think you're onto something good.
Yep.
Yeah.
You can always blow it up.
That's a good thing though with making videos for YouTube. I mean, even if you fail, you have succeeded.
Yeah, sometimes a fail is even better.
It's a bit like when you do your science project. As long as you write in the synopsis, not the synopsis, the brief. I don't know if this is going to work, but I'm going to find out. So it doesn't really matter if it does work or if it doesn't work. You've already stated I have no idea if this is going to work.
Yeah. And at the end, you have found one way that doesn't work. That is also progress.
So
Yeah,
it's a fantastic success or it's a towering inferno.
Either way, it's science.
Yes.
So that's the brilliant. I have a theory. Let's test it. I saw someone at some point, they summarized being a scientist. You are defined by the fact that you're happy to work on a very narrow niche for 15 years just to be proved wrong in someone else's paper. And all right, so I'll have to think differently tomorrow then. And then just toss it out. And that got me to think. I got a friend of me, and you'll probably enjoy this, Phil. I got a link to a newspaper article in a Norwegian newspaper this week where they have interviewed a guy. He has been working as, I'm not sure what you can translate it to, but he's worked in turning some old historical archives into a full digital searchable copy. And he has been doing this for the last 15 years because this is a very extensive archive. So he has been scanning documents, converting them, logging them, metadata and whatnot, and putting them on the server. And they had a software that would make this accessible for all the municipalities and directorates and whatnot who needed this as research material and whatnot. And then he just woke up one day and tried to log on, and nothing was there. And after some back and forth, they talked to IT, and no, that's gone. Someone has deleted it because the software was outdated and they did not have a license for it anyway. And someone, by an error, also have just deleted it together with all the content. So all his work for the last 15 years is gone. They did such a thorough job in deleting it that there is no backup or go backsies.
Wow.
So then you have to just think that, well, at least I had a job for 15 years and I got paid for all the hours I put in. So that's where the value is in it for me. But his entire life's work was gone, and IT is like, yeah, we seem to have deleted that.
That's why you don't trust IT and always have a local copy.
Yeah, don't trust IT. No. Cannot be trusted. Someone deciding that no, you don't have a license for this, so we're just going to get rid of it without telling you. It sounds awfully familiar. And well, that's a you problem for not backing it up. It sounds awfully familiar, unfortunately.
It's an old license here for some software bought 15 years ago. It's just one license. Who's just using one license today? So it's probably some obsolete. Last update was in 1997. So
should we ask someone?
No. Just get it done.
We used to have a department, long since defunct, that essentially ran the entire arm of their business in an enormous, unruly PageMaker database, which no one really knew how to get any of the data out of it. And for a long time, we essentially had to run that entire department air-gapped from the rest of the network because, we can't let you have your ancient machines running this ancient software connected to a modern internet because that's just a security nightmare.
Yeah, but I mean, today that coin has flipped. Today, that's the epiphany. That's the top of the cybersecurity protocol. It's untouchable. It's unbreakable. It's unhackable. It's become the best that they have.
That's the floppy disks in the lockbox, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah.
No one's hacking this from half a world away.
No, and
No one's
nobody
hacking
knows
it
where
from-
that keys is.
No one's hacking it from inside the room.
We want someone to hack this box open, please. We want what's inside it. No one knows.
Yeah, maybe that's a fun anecdote to end this thread with. When my father worked running a small computer company, he also had the service agreement with the local doctor's office, and he had to sign an agreement to whatever he saw when he logged on and fixed their systems, that he could not basically share anything that he might stumble over. And what he did to not, I mean, living in a small rural town, it's, you know, everybody. So if you see a name on any list, you know that person. So what he did, all the tests that he done to verify that the system works, he did it on his own journal, because he could write whatever he wanted there and it did not affect anyone else. But the way the journal system works is that once a doctor writes something, he can't go, and if he writes something and he press save, you can't go back and edit or delete it, because it is a part of your history of health. And that is so that no other doctor later can go on and alter something. So he had fun writing stuff in, because, you know, nobody could ever delete it. And that is also a very safe system, because this was well into the 2000s, and it of course it was not connected to the internet of security reasons, and they still had, if you were transferring data from one doctor's office to the next one, you had to print the journals and send them by courier or whatnot, and all the internal data transfers were by floppy disks. And of course, all the computers was 486s and whatnot. So I remember he sat on QXL and bid on all the computer equipment, because they needed to fix the server at the local doctor's office. So hopefully they have turned. I think they're running on zip drives now, so they've modernized a bit.
Just as long as those zip drives don't start clicking. Because once a zip drive gets a click of death, that's it. There's no coming back. Tick, 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 tick.
I remember a friend of mine worked in the local newspaper, and they used zip drives for. I don't remember the name of the software, but it was specific to make newspapers. So they set the text and everything and the pictures, and then they saved it on what at the time was huge files of probably several megabytes. And then, of course, with dial-up modem, it took forever, so they had to send it over to the press. So it was put on zip drives, and someone got into the car and drove the 1 hour to the printing company and delivered the zip drive. So yeah, good times.
I've done that. Not for press, but I've literally driven somewhere with the zip disk and the drive, because we were saving on zip 250s and they only had zip 100 drives, and they are not compatible. So I had to turn up with this ancient old machine and plug it in and realize, this is Firewire 400 and you've only got Firewire 800 and I don't have a crossover cable. It's so much easier now.
Yeah.
I mean, with USB, I mean, we have done some advances for the better, technology-wise.
Yeah. You win some, you lose some.
As in life.
As in life.
As in life.
Good night.
Good night.
Or good morning.
Good
or
night.
good whatever.
That was a nice ending.